So today we're going to talk about kettlebells. If you are lifting weights or doing any kind of exercises that are using weights, a kettlebell, like this one, is something that you should consider. Now, first off, with any exercise, you should first get your doctor's permission. 2, make sure that you're doing the exercise properly. And 3, make sure you stretch before you do any type of exercises. And also remember to stay hydrated. With that said, let's talk about some kettlebell exercises. So today we're going to talk about 3 kettlebell exercises: the deadlift, the clean goblet, and the kettlebell swing. Those are 3 very simple kettlebell exercises that you can incorporate into your daily exercise routine. And once you get the proper form from this video or any other video out on the internet, or from a personal trainer, or from a gym, or from one of our peer fitness trainers in the EGH gym, you should definitely incorporate these exercises into your daily routine. So let's start off with one of the main things that you need to understand when it comes to kettlebells. When it comes to kettlebells, you need to make sure that you understand what a hinge is. When you hinge with a kettlebell, you are actually hinging from your hips. You are bending from your hips. So let's look at that from a side profile. Hinging from your hips means sticking your buttocks out and bending from your hips and coming back up. It's not bending over with your back rounded. It is actually hinging and using those hamstring muscles and those glute muscles to bend over, making sure you have a flat back when you're doing the exercises. So let's try that. Just a few. We want to make sure that we're hinging properly. I want you to put your hands right here, kind of by your pelvic bone. I want you to put your feet hip width or shoulder width apart. I want you to hold in your core. And I want you to push your gluteus maximus muscles out, hold in your core, and hinge right there at the hip, keeping your back straight. And when you come up, I want you to tuck it in. So let's try that again. Push it out, flat back, bring it in, tuck it in. Push it out, flat back, bring it in, come in. So now that we have the hinge down properly, let's talk about the kettlebell deadlift. So for the kettlebell deadlift, you want to make sure that you always position your kettlebell in between your feet by your ankles. So you see my kettlebell is up here in front of my feet. That's not where it needs to be. It needs to be right here, in between my ankles. So for the kettlebell deadlift, we want to make sure that the kettlebell is positioned properly. We want to make sure your feet are shoulder width apart. The kettlebell is positioned in between your ankles, okay? So if we look at that from the side profile, this is what it would look like, right? Feet hip width apart, and that kettlebell is in between our feet in between our ankles. Now, for the kettlebell deadlift, we're gonna bend our knees slightly, hold in our core. We're gonna stick that gluteus maximus muscle out. We are going to bend forward. We're gonna grab that kettlebell and we're gonna come up. And as we come up, everything is gonna come through, all right? So imagine you had a wall behind you and you wanna push the wall. So from the side, this is what that looks like. Core tucked in, knees slightly bent. You're gonna push that wall out and you're gonna hinge at the hip with a nice flat back. You should feel that in your hamstring and in your gluteus maximus muscles. All right, so let's try that again. Up, down, up, down. So let's see what that looks like from the front. Kettlebell in between the feet, in between the ankles, core tucked in, nice straight back, bent knees. We're gonna hinge at the hip. We're gonna come up and down, and up and down. All right, So, the next exercise is called the clean goblet, or the goblet clean, however you want to say it. Pretty much what that exercise entails is going from the deadlift position, bringing your kettlebell up, and then kind of like a clean and jerk, you want to bring it up. All the while holding in your core, straight back, bent knees just a little bit, nice posture, and then bring it back down. Let's see what that looks like from the side. All right, nice straight profile, core in, knees bent slightly. We're gonna stick our gluteus maximus muscles out. We're gonna push them, push that wall, that imaginary wall behind us. We're gonna come down, come up, and come up. When we come up, we're gonna tuck everything in and pull everything in, all right? So it's almost like a deadlift, but you're coming all the way up and holding that kettlebell up. Now, let's look at it from the front. The kettlebell is in between the feet. Feet are shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent, core tucked in. We're gonna, nice flat straight back, hands down, getting ready to receive the kettlebell. We're gonna bend down, come up and up. Down, come up and up. Hinging at the hip. Now, once you get the hang of this exercise and you can complete it with good form, you can try coming up and catching it. Coming down, making sure you're hinging at the hip every time, all right? So come down, come up, catch it. Come down, come up, and catch it, all right? The last exercise that we've got is the kettlebell swing, which is a more popular exercise, and a lot of people do it incorrectly. A lot of people, and we'll show you from the side, they'll take the kettlebell and they'll just swing it and swing like that, like almost like a squat. They'll like swing it and squat up, swing it and squat up, and they have no good posture in their back. That's not the right way. So let's look at this kettlebell swing from the side. The kettlebell should go between your legs, feet hip width apart, kettlebell at the ankles, knees bent slightly, core in. We're gonna reach down, get that kettlebell, we're gonna extend it back a little bit, and we're gonna hinge from the hip, and we're gonna go up, 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 up. So let's look at it, what it looks like from the front. Feet shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent, nice posture. We're gonna reach down, hinging at the hip. We're gonna extend that kettlebell out, come up, down, up, down. When you come up, you wanna make sure you tuck in your core and you tuck in those gluteus maximus muscles. So when you come up, you're bringing it in, and when you're going out, you're pushing it out. Holding in your core all the time, okay? Hinging at the hip. Hinging at the hip. So with that said, once you master those 3 moves with the kettlebell, making sure that you have a kettlebell that fits you in terms of weight, perfect it, do it, have fun with it, but most of all, be safe and get to your healthiest state of you. Bye.